Last week, there were many winners and many losers. However, we're all winners. Why, you may ask? Because it's marked the day that we no longer will be receiving spam political text messages. I'll admit it was fun to respond to some of the senders and dangle a carrot as if it were a verge of conceding to their attempts to sway me in their thinking. After a few exchanges, I would write, "Hey, can you take down this other number? My phone's going to be going dead." And then I would just provide a number of one of my loan officer competitors. Leading up to Tuesday's night midterm race, the market put on a decent rally. For a lack of any meaningful follow through in pricing, I'd attribute this to simply a battle from footing in the wake of inflation release consumer price index CPI. As we woke to what looked to be shaping up to be a Republican controlled House and a Senate currently undermine the overall sentiment, seem to be a recipe for gridlock in policy advancement for the next 2 years. This oftentimes is not a positive for the equities due to the government's ability to roll out more policy bills. We may not have a vote in how to the outcome of the market, and it turns out, but we can choose to show up. There's one thing 100% of Americans can agree on election day. It's 50% Americans have lost their mind. Thursday morning, the first song that popped into my head was Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. Which old witch? The Wicked Witch. Ah, yes, the Wicked Witch of the economy, inflation. And to embrace this analogy, the markets were joining in to sing, spreading the news that inflation is dead. We saw over 180 basis points improvement in the bond market, and rates dropped 0.5% in one day. Thank goodness. Finally, let's hope we can keep it going. If the market was surprised by the top 100 Billboard hits of all time, I'm a Believer by the Monkees. Perhaps we could also embrace Happy by Pharrell Williams, while our dancing might be summarized by I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas. If you'd ask me, I'd even join in on I'm a Believer, immediately turning into the dial of which got the sign by Ace of Base. To land this plane, I would like to simply plead for the market to unbreak my heart and tell me that you'd love me again. Yes, CPI came in lower than expected. The first crack in the Kraken, i.e. inflation. Dear 4%, thank you for the memories. The 10% yield plummeted to 3.8%. Warning. I know it's easy to get an overzealous of the markets, and knee-jerk reaction has been proven, but it's important to note that I don't think that this maturely affects the Fed's march towards higher rates, but it may drop December's hike from 75 basis points to 50 basis points. Point is that we still have a lot of wood to chop before we can say that the light at the tunnel is emerging. This in some ways feels like a deja vu as it pertains to the hope trade that has gotten us burned several times. I concede, though, that it's the first data point that we could really cement a thesis off of. I'm a glass half full girl, but recognize that we realize that we've starved in the market for positivity. We like to call this cautious optimism. The next chapter will be is that the true material momentum change, or will it turn out to be a head fake? The market is going to begin making bets, but the data will result in a confirmation of this move. For what feels like the first time in a long time, we finally got a win. We may have been up against the ropes, but we've got heart. This fight is not over yet. Cue to the music, Eye of the Tiger. It's the Eye of the Tiger. It's the thrill of the fight, rising up in the challenge of our rival and less known survivor. Stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the Eye of the Tiger. Let's go ahead and keep the fight. Tina Mitchell, and that is your Money Chat. Coming